Is Warner Brothers really about to get sold? Welcome to Sidetrack Your Sci-Fi TV and movie channel. So I've literally just had a comment on the channel saying that somebody else's sources are telling them that Warner Brothers is on the verge of being sold, and asking basically how true that is. At the moment, Warner Brothers as a company, Warner Brothers Discovery, has somewhere in the region of $50 billion worth of debt. Now, that is a massive increase from the early 2020s. I think it was like 2021, they owed like about 15 billion or something, and it's just massively increased over the last couple of years. So now it is in the region of 50 billion. They have been driving that debt down, but not quickly enough. I have actually been able to speak to a couple of sources about this. And if you are a regular Sidetrack, you'll know just about a month ago, I did speak to you guys about the possibility of Netflix actually buying HBO's Max streaming service, and that would become part of Netflix a bigger project. So basically you would get Netflix regular and then you'd get Netflix Max that would be then added, and for a small premium on top of their normal sort of charge. Apparently that is a possibility because no one company could buy Warner Brothers, particularly in its current form. There is just too much debt. And the company is, to be honest, vast. You've got the studio space, which is one of the largest in Southern California, and just from a real estate point alone is worth significant money. They have a vast IP. They have the parks, like Warner Brothers parks, like Harry Potter Land and all these sorts of things. And they have things like Max. So it is very likely that in the next 12 to 18 months, we are going to see parts of that business sold off. As I said, there is the possibility that Netflix could purchase Max and absorb it into the larger service, and that then a lot of Warner Brothers products would be produced directly for Netflix. There is a possibility that the parks could be sold. There is a possibility that other assets which are significant could be sold to other providers. And there is a possibility that the studio, or at least parts of the studio space at Warner Brothers Studios, could also be sold. Also, though, Warner Brothers are having a massive push towards limiting their liability. And by this I mean, and they've already started doing this, selling programs to other shows so that they're not actually risking buying anything. So, if they buy a show, they produce a show, it bombs. If you've got someone else to pay for that already, you don't have any liability. So they have been moving towards using their studio space to produce material for others. This has been why they were in conversations about Stargate with Amazon, even though I think Amazon has moved on from that now, and why they're in conversations with lots of other things like selling existing TV shows from Max directly to Netflix, something they've never done before. So, is Warner Brothers about to get sold? No. But is Warner Brothers moving slowly towards being carved up and sold? Yes. There is also a possibility that individual IP will be sold, i.e., for example, the movie rights for Harry Potter could be sold. Also, and a big one here is probably DC, that there is a distinct possibility they've created DC Studios, and the reason why they did that, at least in part, is to make it a more attractive and more sellable product in the long run, if it gets to that. So, as we speak right now, no one company could come in and just buy Warner Brothers, but it is very likely that the company will be carved up over the next couple of years. No business really of that size and turnover could manage a debt of $50 billion, debt that has increased massively over the last 2 years. And remembering that servicing that debt, this is a similar problem to what Paramount has at the moment. Servicing the debt is becoming more expensive, and Paramount only owes $15 billion. Warner Brothers is 50. So, thanks to the credit crunch and thanks to interest rates going up, we actually could be at risk of losing two of the biggest and oldest studios in Hollywood, Paramount and Warner Brothers, as servicing their debt becomes more expensive. But guys, get into the comments to tell me what you think. Is Warner Brothers really up for sale? And if so, who would take over? One of the big rumours is that Universal is the studio that will come in and actually take on the studio space and buy much of the more valuable IP. Or is this actually something that Apple might be involved in? Possible. They're probably the most cash-rich studio out there, and they're the only ones that probably could service that sort of level of debt. And also, they would be gagging for the studio space and the IP that Warner Brothers has. So, maybe. Get into the comments, go and tell me exactly what you think. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. It really helps us out. And yes, I'm wearing a Christmas jumper. It was our Christmas jumper day today. Don't have a go at me. Stay out of the comments. As always, please stay safe, and I'll see you next time.